Hello, this is the recording of the Week 4 presentation in IS219. The reading this week is chapters 8 and 9. The discussion, you're to pick any type of join, define it, and explain how it works in your own words. Then think about using joins and queries you might write someday at work. How will understanding and using joins help you or any database administrator data mine? The initial post must be at least 100 words and is due on Wednesday with at least one APA reference. 2 replies are due by Sunday. Complete problems 1 through 5 on pages 478 through 479. Okay, that's the problems at the end of chapter 9. It's due Sunday by 11:59. Answer all the questions in a Word document. The ABC Car Service and Repair Center are owned by a silent car dealer. ABC services and repairs only silent cars. 3 ABC Car Service and Repair Centers provide service and repair for the entire state. Indicate the most appropriate sequence of activities by labeling each of the following steps in the correct order. For example, if you think that load the database is the appropriate first step, label it 1. I have labeled 1 for you just to get you started. So interview the shop manager is number 1. If you go to page 442 and look for figure 9.2, you'll see the system development life cycle. Now the steps need to fit in at least in the analysis, design, and implementation phases. So you can kind of think about those steps and say where would to interview the shop manager fall, and so on. So that's how that would help you with your with that first question. Describe the various models that you believe the system should include. Choose 4 main models that should be part of the system. For instance, inventory. Then decide what would be in each module. So I've given you an example of inventory, and parts purchasing could be under that. How will a data dictionary help you develop the system? Give examples. Well, we know that data dictionary provides a detailed description of all tables in the database created by the user and designer, and that's found on page 91. What general system requirements might you make to the shop manager? For example, if the system will be integrated, what modules will be integrated? What benefits would be derived from such an integrated system? Include several general recommendations. Look back at modules that you proposed, and this might help you come up with some questions. The next one is, what is the best approach to conceptual database design? Why? So you might look at figure 9.12. It's showing you a top-down versus a bottom-up, and that might help you think of something for that question. Name and describe at least 4 reports the system should have. Explain their use and who will use these reports. For instance, one could be customer activity report. That's just a suggestion. Suppose you've been asked to create an information system for a manufacturing plant that produces nuts and bolts in many shapes, sizes, and functions. What questions would you ask, and how would the answers to those questions affect the database design? Do you envision the SDLC, that system development life cycle, to be, and what do you envision the database life cycle to be? So you not only have to create at least 4 questions, but you also have to answer A and B. So here on figure 9.2 is the system development life cycle, and 9.3 is the database life cycle. So thinking about your design for the question, then you would be able to fill in those actions. Suppose you perform the same functions noted in problem 2 for a large warehousing operation. How are the 2 sets of procedures similar and how are they different? Using the same procedures and concept employed in problem 1, how would you create an information system for the tiny college example in chapter 4? If you go back onto page 147, you'll see the figure 9. You'll find the tiny college. Write the proper sequence of activities to design a video rental database. That's what this figure 9.9 is. It's on page 462. And if you look at those, and that will help you with the questions. Now, as to study for the midterm, which is due Sunday, it can only be taken once. You can view my highlights. Now, if you have the app, you go to subscribe, and then you put my email in there, which you'll find in faculty info. On the website, I believe it's manage and then subscriptions, and then you subscribe. So this test covers chapters 1 through 9. You can go back and study the quizzes from weeks 1 through 3. Now, to study the quiz, so I took the quiz in student view. I would go to my grades, which is where I'm at, click on the name of the quiz, and then click on the grade that you got, whatever it was. And you'll see that this will show you the question, the answer that you selected, and the correct answer. And that's how you would study the quizzes. And of course, if you go back to the PowerPoints that I gave you each week with the recording, you'll see the page numbers for the different things that I told you to study. And that will help you too. And that's the last page, is the references. Now, as far as the final project, not many of you are asking questions, so I hope that you're at least working on it or thinking about it. And I'm thinking about questions. I've had a couple, and I posted one in last week's forum about the final project, and then there was a student that posted questions in week 4. So keep an eye on what other people are asking, and that might help you. That's all I have for tonight. So I hope if you have any questions, you'll let me know.